Hey, what's up, y'all? So I wanted to make this video to talk about a trend that I'm seeing in the touring space right now. And for those of you that don't know, right now I specialize in tour marketing. So mainly for non-tourist, not non-artist touring entities. So right now I work with a client that does R&B music called R&B Only, and they have a touring business model, or part of their business is in touring, right? So that's part of how they generate income, and that's the part where I help them with marketing, consulting, and advertising. So we have partnered on 5 tours now, and just looking at the data and advertisements every day, it's a trend that I keep seeing over and over and over again. And the research, the annual visitors across uh, cities, especially major cities in the U.S., kind of support why we're seeing this trend. So again, everywhere I've looked, it's really the same story. People are deciding to attend last minute. The real question here is why, right? It's really important to understand why this is happening, and there's a couple reasons. So the first thing is that when you ask people at events or run surveys, you'll start to see that a lot of people are showing up from other cities. They're in town last minute. They decided to buy tickets because they saw an ad. And this just goes with the nature of travelers in general. So they are looking for things to do. They're more receptive to advertising. A lot of times they're discovering ads. So I talk about this a lot. There's a big difference between ads and organic social media, and why advertising works, why it's more targeted, why it's more precise, why it's one of the best ways to get your event in front of people as opposed to organic social. So that's another topic which I'll get into. But a lot of people are discovering events and things to do through advertising. So it's a big discovery process when you're on social media. Your ad should be saying, hey, this is where I need to be today, tonight, tomorrow, this weekend. That's usually what you hear. The second reason is people aren't really planning like they used to. So this this is really just human nature, right? So half of us are planners and the others are not. This is why early bird discounts can work for people who are willing to commit months or weeks in advance to events, but that only makes up a part of your event. Not everyone, just because you're on a 50% discount on tickets, even though the incentive might be there, they're just not going to commit that far up in advance, right? Goes against their nature. As a matter of fact, a lot of people are willing to pay more because they don't want to commit, so they'll pay more, higher prices at the door. So those are two key reasons. Understanding why this is happening as a trend. Last minute buyers and last minute tickets are really spiking in the final week, but especially in the last 3 days of any event, from what I've seen. So what does this really mean? It's simple, but not easy. You have to be on your toes. You have to be ready to catch the eye of both types of crowds, right? The planner and the people that like to do stuff last minute. So anytime they're running advertisement, there has to be offers for both types of people. One, when you're planning out your event, when you're planning out your a series of events, you have to have a process that clearly measures, or that clearly considers both types of buyers in both stages of an event life cycle, which is the announcement when you typically run early bird discounts, and then the closing phase, which is the weeks or days leading up to your actual event. You have to consider both phases, and you have to plan smartly allocating budgets, taking the budget for a single show or a single event and making the decision how much to allocate between both phases. So not only that, but your advertisements should be creating excitement that is impossible to ignore from the moment that people see the ad to the day of the doors opening. This is why having ads running, having different types of ads running all the way leading up to the show, but especially the final week, it's a must. So this is just acknowledging reality. This is why I make this type of content. Um, you have to be smart. You have to be direct with the information you provide in the ads, and you just have to embrace that this is the way that people are going to events is changing, and you have to welcome them whether they plan things months in advance or they're just deciding to show up. Every step of the buying process, again, I'm just going to say this again, it really needs to reinforce the reason. You need to give them a reason to attend your event and get excited about it. So every part of the buying process, every part in the touch point of your brand or your live event needs to be exciting. It needs to have different types of ad creative, different types of marketing assets, if you will, that might be different from the ad versus what you have on your pages versus what you have on your socials versus what you send out to them an email, an SMS. Doesn't have to be major differences, but this is why having different types of marketing videos and different types of materials and content that you can send to them to get them excited. Obviously, this becomes easier when you invest into capturing content. In the long run, it becomes easier to create new stuff and repurpose stuff using old and new clips, right? This is common knowledge. Every company does this. Every big business that isn't has a touring model, whether they're artists or whether they're non-artist touring entities, they repurpose content, right? And especially if a company's been around for 5, 10, 20, 30 years, the type of content that they can produce is really tough to replicate when you're just getting started. But the long story short, making the entire journey exciting from the moment they see an ad to they explore your digital footprint all the way up to they buying the actual ticket and the moment they're walking through the doors. It has to be exciting from point A to point Z, and to after the event, you also have to remind them how much of a great time they had and how fun the event was. This is just so that you're able to not only get feedback from them on how to improve the experience, but it just makes for great future content, future advertisement, right? And it shows that you care, and it shows that you taking the time to research, to send people out from the marketing team like myself into the field, boots on the ground, talking to customers. It shows that you really care about the entire customer experience. And this is something that just continues to pay for itself over and over again. You never want to stop talking and being involved with your customers. They are the ones that pay for everything. They are the ones that oftentimes I've seen in live events, no one is really listening, no one is really paying attention to what their needs and their wants. One of the best ways to uncover what sorts of sponsorships make sense, if any, what sort of partnerships or collaborations or influencers. A lot of times, if you do a great job, they will send you contacts. They will refer you over to people that they think your brand should work with. At least that's been my experience. as I work with different clients. And I've been in advertising for over 10 years. So this works across industry, but specifically in the touring and live event space. Now, we have a lot more information that I'm going to be getting out there, especially in the because in the last 2 3 years I've been building a really solid product and advertising solutions for touring operators, and I want to start getting that information out there from case studies, daily content, just like this long form. This is made to this is being made for a few reasons. One is to educate people in the live event space, especially touring operators, just sharing the information that I'm looking at on a day-to-day basis that I talk about with clients, with partners, technology partners, right? And other people who are also in the live event space. Number two, this is just a way for me to really market myself as a freelancer. Just to be straightforward, that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm promoting my own work, my own thoughts, and all of this content that I'm creating is really just a way to attract possible clients to want to work with me. Now, the types of clients I'm looking for are, if you look at one of my clients now, which is R&B only, and they own the two brands here, R&B Only Live and R&B Only Fest. They're really a gold standard client of what I'm looking for in future collaborations. So right now with non-artist touring entities, anyone that might be in sports that has a series of live events and emulates somewhat of a touring business model, those are the types of people I want to be talking to. So if this sounds like you, don't hesitate to drop questions. Don't hesitate to contact me here on my LinkedIn. You can look me up. Instagram, you can look me up. Twitter, I'm involved in all these spaces. You're going to see the same content across the board. So just goes to show how serious I take my craft and how involved I am in the process of not only educating my clients, but taking a consultative approach to everything that is done when it comes to executing on advertising projects. And then the last thing is really, I'm just looking to collect feedback, right? I am looking at currently operate as a freelancer and looking to grow and expand and connect with other people in the event marketing space, especially event professionals, which is something I've been doing a lot on LinkedIn. So if you guys want to connect, I think LinkedIn is one of the best places to network, to expand your network, and to really learn about any topic in business, whether it's HR, marketing, finance, etc. There's so many types of people with serious, like deep knowledge and expertise. It's one of my favorite platforms to be on right now. So I would I would not hesitate to get on there if you're in the tour operator space, but if you're in just business in general and entrepreneurship, I highly recommend that you get into LinkedIn as soon as possible. Right now, it's still in the early stages of creators like myself that are getting into the platform. So the sooner you can get in there and start learning, the better off you will be. Trust me when I say that I've been on the platform for a while and I really think that this is a major opportunity.